Hello. It is Monday, July 1st, 2024, and that means two things. It's Canada Day, a day that anyone can celebrate if you send a Canadian $20. And it's time for the lighting industry news brief brought to you by KeystoneTech.com and the Aviva wafer retrofit trim. This is a retrofit for can lights, but it is wafer thin, but it still works on a socket. It still has your usual Keystone, brand conveniences, which is to say power select on a switch, color select on a switch, plenty of SKUs saved by the flexibility of this product. That's KeystoneTech.com. The link is in the description, and let's get into the news. The Design Lights Consortium has finalized their technical requirements for version 5.1 of the qualified products list. That version went live Friday afternoon, which means they were just done and wanted it out there, or maybe they just didn't want anyone to notice they changed anything. Those are the two reasons to do things on a Friday, by the way. We have new federal funds for domestic manufacturing, with the U.S. Department of Energy offering $7 million in funds to boost energy usage in small and medium facilities. Schneider Electric is expanding, adding $23 million in improvements to their operation in South Carolina. Electrical Components has bought FlexTech. No details on price or personnel. Signify is expanding their Jiangxi operation. Their current bulb production facility just doesn't quite measure up, and the new one should generate 600,000 units per day. Lynas has started digging in Malaysia. This is an Australian mining firm, and they will be looking for rare earths over there. Lighthead is flipping the switch. As of today, Lighthead magazine will spin down in favor of electrified. All of your favorite lighting-related video content will still be on TED Magazine, like me. Hi TED Magazine audience. I'm Scott. I'm a weirdo who talks too fast, and I explain the lighting news. That's how that works. Anyway, back to it. Tivoli announces a new sustainability program, not just matching Title 24 in California, not just matching the Declare labeling program, but also matching the Florida Wildlife Commission's Turtle Safe program. More to come in the near future. The Illuminating Engineering Society has updated LM79, which is to say that we have a bunch of new revisions for the approved method of optical and electrical measurements for solid-state lighting products. Signify has signaled that its suppliers need to get greener. Their next round of purchase agreements will come with carbon clauses. Valmont will be issuing a dividend of 60 per share. Gowan has posted losses. They're 27% down revenue-wise. They make fixtures. They're from Taiwan. Get a Grip on Lighting talks lighting for risk mitigation. Check out getagriponlighting.com. Q3 at Acuity looks pretty good. Earnings are actually up 1% despite sales kind of creeping down. Women in Lighting Design have announced the next round of their annual mentorship program, which is to say that you can apply to be a mentor or a mentee right now. The Basil Fund has funded new scholarships. This is a lighting education program that will be awarding $140,000 to 14 undergrads to pursue education in lighting design. UPS is selling their brokerage unit. A PE firm, private equity firm, RXO, spent not quite $2 billion on the transport segment. We have a new facility for Carolina Handling. That is a Pickens County space for that distro specialist. Fagerhult has signed a new recycling deal with Hydro Extrusion Sweden. Energy Manager Canada has opened their award submissions. You or your projects could qualify in 5 categories. We have calls for entries in the Lighting Transformation Awards. The National Lighting Bureau is seeking projects for recognition. Those are due on the 29th of August. Legal news shows that Amherst, the city in Ohio, is suing the Ohio State Department of Transportation over maintenance costs on Route 2. the city has been paying for snow removal and lighting repairs on that area of the highway. We have 3 claims and 1 case dropped in Malazgar v. LeGrand. If you remember, they were running 2 lawsuits simultaneously. Those have been knocked down to 1, and that will move forward now. We have 6 new patents from Skykes. Once again, I am begging Skykes to send me a media kit to explain how I pronounce that. SKYX is a smart tech company, and they have secured 6 patents for plug-and-play ceiling fans and heaters in the US, Canada, China, India, the EU, and Mexico. In rep agency news, Intral Tech has a new look, and Acuity has partnered with Red Leonard for refueling stations in the Midwest. In events and webinars, you can still register for the Nailed Convention this August in Minnesota. I haven't either. I think I'll do that tomorrow. If you're planning on doing that tomorrow, let me know. We can be buds. We'll all be latecomers. It'll be great. The Rensselaer Institute's Lighting Research Center is offering an institute on photometry. This is a 2-day course, August 12th and 13th, probably to match with that IES change to their photometry rules. The ICEL has unveiled a program for emergency lighting. That'll happen on September 12th in London, Ontario. Legislation proposals are due on the 6th of September. The Lighting Agora has partnered with Canada Light Expo. This is a first-year knowledge partnership starting in November. And the CIE, this is a French word, but it's the Society for Lighting and whatnot. They've set their date for their midterm meeting. It'll be in Vienna, July of next year. Submissions for talks are open now. In IoT news, Schneider Electric has launched a smart buildings division. That'll run actually out of their Canadian office. A cyber attack has hit thousands of car dealers, with anyone working with a CDK client being shut down for just multiple days. And in Saitama, Japan, the Chuo Housing Company is offering cat-centric lighting. This is new condo retrofits and redevelopments for the benefit of your cats. And this should be like a lol Japan thing, but actually no. If millennials ever get enough money to buy houses, you're going to have to do pet-centric stuff a lot more than you think. In R&D, perovskites could replace silicon in solar panels. This is a new study. Excimer has secured new funds from the U.S. Department of Energy to the tune of $100 million to develop laser-driven nuclear fusion. This is tangential, but I do get to say laser, so that's why I'm here. The University of Wisconsin has made a new micro-LED UVA device, which has very high performance level at almost any chip size, which is why you want to go micro, to get the chip size down. On the dark side of things, let's talk about how sleep loss affects red cell counts to the detriment of the participants of this study, in this case, Portuguese firefighters. We also have a hard time tracking how long it takes to really re-entrain after DST. That's the twice-a-year thing we do to benefit no one. And Palm Beach's headland in Australia has been recognized by the DSI. Guelph, Ontario has debated new lighting laws. Ross, California is debating a DSI recognition project. Liberty Hill, Texas is considering a reward for businesses that comply with their lighting ordinances early. Kane County, Illinois has set a light pollution policy. Pink Shell Beach Resort in Fort Myers has completed their Turtle Safe project. Foley, Florida has set new lighting regs for their beach development, and the Florida DOT, that is the Department of Transportation, is changing their statewide lighting regulations after the death of a single sea turtle. If you want more on this, you can of course check out restoringdarkness.com. There are text versions of all this. Also, twice a month, I read this news in more detail, more carefully. But otherwise, restoringdarkness.com, it's a great place to go. In horticultural news, Windy City Harvest Training Program is celebrating their 250th grad from that particular controlled environment education facility. Soli is planning a new facility in Texas. Singapore will be hosting to Fink Biotech's next AI-managed mushroom farm. And I'm not usually an alarmist about AI, but when you say, oh, the robots are going to control mushrooms, I get worried. I think that's the one that ends us, actually. Salinas is entering the controlled environment cannabis market. KSU has received $7 million in grants for agricultural research. South Africa has started a new initiative for small-scale farms. Hungary has announced €125 million in development funds for horticultural tech. And going over to recommended reading, all this you can read at nailed.org or other places. You can read about how smart wearables are making us dumber. We have a recap of the Lumen Awards Gala. We have a recap of Light Design Expo. We have Well Tech and Sleep Tech for hospitality spaces. We have the profitability of clean tech making that tech worse. We have why don't design practices grow. Leducation's archives from last year are all up. We have whether or not retail is ready for controlled environment projects and products. We have a guide to installing pickleball courts, including the lighting. We have a discussion of automation versus automation. Automation, that's a weird Britishism, isn't it? And personalization. We have security lighting, whether you should go wired or wireless, and a profile of the last neon shop in Idaho. Locally, Detroit plans to convert vacant lots into solar generators. We have $42 million in funds for road projects in Hawaii. We have $53 million in projects for New York State parks. We have Arizona announcing a 5-year infrastructure plan. Missouri has energy grants, but nobody knows about it. Consider getting in on that. We have new loans for energy programs in Ontario multifamily residences. Florida is expanding security funding for Jewish schools. Tampa and Lake Wales in Florida are securing grants for street projects. The New Hampshire Business Enterprise Association has named their recipients for rural grants. Carrington College in California has announced a new electrical tech program. We have PPP, a company relighting Atlanta metro stations. Philadelphia City Hall has showed off their brand new RGB uplights because they're keeping up with the Joneses. We have $100,000 in retrofits in Lake Havasu counties, Colorado's libraries. Fitchburg, Massachusetts schools will complete some retrofits soon. Toledo, Ohio funds renovations at historic buildings. Los Angeles, California condo projects have been burgled of their copper wire again. Copper wire theft is also trending upward in Louisville. Stratford, Ontario's seasonal lighting festival is securing a federal grant. And we have Space Mountain, the Disneyland California one, is closed right now for lighting upgrades. Internationally, Nortec is entering the East African market. A Nigerian man was electrocuted in the middle of stealing some copper wire. Sa Maiden has partnered with Group A Lighting in Malaysia. UK hospitals will not meet their energy goals in the next few years. And Signify is aiming for double-digit growth in India. In People News, Andreas Adam is now the Senior Director of Global Sustainability at Ledvance. Martina Schubert has been named the CIO at Van Meter. Dan Phelan has moved from Current to Healthway because he's now the CEO there. Bill Liberto has joined Earthtronics as their VP of Commercial Sales, and Denise Nolf has joined Magnitude Lighting as their regional sales manager. You can also go to Oregon and enjoy some light-up kayaking, because that's back up and running. Otherwise, I have been Scott Wachter. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank Ledvance. I want to thank Light Efficient Design. I want to thank ETI. I want to thank Keystone. I want to thank Espen. I want to thank you for listening. Until next time, have a good week and enjoy the music.
I spoke with Lucifer lately, the psychic Canada baby. His sheer absurdity strikes me. He said the finest joke of the 90s. hats were hats. I had no Canadian flag, just the sound of Dave and Roger, too scared to purchase larger. So I walked through the Clyde Valley in the shadow of fiery Jack. But I will fear no evil, wrapped in the Canadian flag. I cast my gaze from people to the most absurd detail. A single cup of coffee, a hypodermic needle in the good hands of my dentist. That cock from Mr. Printer, and I wear it for my lady. The Canadian flag, baby! Tomorrow